It was one of the hardest things to admit that I am, in fact, dealing with loneliness. But it was also very freeing to just kind of, put it out there and be vulnerable. One thing I've really discovered within these past couple of weeks is that the reason I was feeling so lonely is not just because, I didn't fit in anywhere, and, it's not just because I want, good friends and people in my life. It's also because while I was spending a lot of time alone, I wasn't really spending time in solitude, meaning like I wasn't being like fully present with myself most of the time. Like when I'm at home, like sometimes I'm just like, most of the time I'm just watching a show or like basically distracting myself, scrolling online and all of this stuff, which just in turn, the energy you get from like scrolling repeatedly through social media just makes you feel bad about yourself anyways, because you're just seeing all these people's highlights. But like, I realized I need to spend more time just reading a book and just being with myself, or just sitting in meditation, and just asking myself certain things about myself, or just writing, and getting to know myself. Like, what do you like to do? How do you feel about this? Like, when you travel, do you travel light? Do you travel heavy? Like, what places do you want to travel to? Where do you want to live? Like, ideally, like, what makes you feel good? What kind of environment do you like? Different questions that I wasn't really digging so deep. And now it's like, I want those friends and stuff in my life, but right now I've gotten to the point where I'm actually happy just being alone. I'm happy just dating myself. I have a whole handshake with myself. I have a whole handshake with myself. To like, sometimes throughout the day I'll just be like, hey Magnolia, how are you? How you doing? Like, how you feeling? While I'm interacting with people at work, perhaps, I'll stop and just be like, are you feeling okay? While I'm at home, like, do you need more of this? How you feeling about that? And then I'll just, when I do something I'm proud of, I'll just, like high five myself and then do my little handshake. And I'm like, I'm doing good. I'm proud of you. And it just made me feel so seen. And it's so funny, like the things that I was looking from the outside world, like to fit in somewhere, to feel seen, to feel like I belong somewhere, like I just gave that to myself. Like, fuck what other people think, fuck what they think. Like, me loving me has been feeling amazing. And it's so crazy when you're feeling lonely, you're just in this fog of, how can I make friends? Why don't I feel any? You're like in the fog, right? But like with unknowingly, as I was like watching different people online and then like reading different text about love and, being alone and discovering yourself, I started realizing what I was doing wrong. I thought I spent so much time with myself. Yeah, I'm always by myself. Like, what do you mean? Like, I spend so much time, but like, no. And there was this inner voice that was crying out like, I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling unseen. I feel like I don't fit anywhere. And I was like, hey, voice, I hear you. We need to, like, we don't fit in. We need to find people. And come to realize a big part of what that voice was saying to me was just, hey, I need you to make me feel seen, to make me feel heard, to make me feel like I belong, with you. And like, it just makes me cry to think, like, on the inside to think about that. Like, wow, okay, I finally see myself. I finally make myself feel heard. And like, I belong. I don't need to belong somewhere outside of myself. Yeah, like eventually, it'd be nice to have those friends and stuff. But like, making myself feel like I belong feels even more amazing. Because imagine, I'm feeling like how I was feeling, weeks ago, and then having people come into my life and they're telling me, yeah, you belong with us, but on the inside, I would still have been feeling like, I don't belong anywhere. I don't feel seen. Because it's inside. It's nothing that anybody else can do. They could say all the right things and make me feel seen, but if I have not felt it myself first, then it will never fully sink in. And that was like the biggest lesson I learned. So if you're going through that, you're not alone. Like, there's more people out here feeling lonely more than ever. It's like the next 19 after the original 19. It's crazy. But I feel like in this new wave of consciousness we're getting into, and the next phase we're going into, more people will start to look inside and find the riches within, and then we'll be able to build better relationship. Another thing that has come to the forefront for me is realizing that when you meet other people, they're on another island. And so if I'm on my island, right, and I'm not having a great time, they're on their island, they're having a great time, why would they want to build a bridge or get on a boat and get over to me if I'm not having a great time? I'm realizing relationships are supposed to be, you're both having a great time on your own island, and then you build a bridge or you travel back and forth to each other's islands and enjoy each other's islands. If you're not having a great time on yours, then that person's like, I think I'm gonna stay on my island because she doesn't look like she's having a great time over there, So I believe that while I'm enjoying myself and dating myself and loving myself and being present with myself, the right people will come in. I just need to, stop worrying about it. And I did see some comments in my last video. Somebody talked about perhaps maybe they're not where I am. And I thought about that. Yeah. And I want to travel more. And perhaps, I love to travel. And I have traveled a little bit, but not as much as I would like to. And perhaps sometimes we do think, oh, well, I'll meet the people that are right for me where I am. But maybe sometimes they aren't there. And you do have to go to perhaps another country, another state. Like here in North Carolina, I feel more at home than in Florida. I would definitely don't think I'd be meeting anybody there. Here, I have a bit more hope. Well, I'll be traveling more, but I think the biggest lesson I learned, I've been learning throughout this journey of, solitude and seclusion and just, being the hermit, if you ever seen tarot readings, is that I need to just be more present with myself and fully understand what I need, before the right people can come in. And actually, as you start to see more of what you need, you become more happy in your solitude. And you think to yourself, you know what? I'm happy just being by myself. Even if the people don't come in, I am perfectly okay. I finally feel like I fit in with myself. And that's the biggest treasure, I could have ever found.